Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Chris Beesmore,
And Cameron Waddle.
and we're doing another short type of video for you all, and we're going to be talking about Tyran Stokes. It's been a crazy day for Kentucky fans. You've got one side for football where everybody thinks, Mark Stoops is about to get fired, and then like everybody's like happy about that, saying it's time for a change. The other side is also happy that Kentucky basketball will probably land their first commitment for the class of 2026, and it's a big one with the number one overall recruit, five-star small forward Tyran Stokes. Like, if he doesn't come to Kentucky, I would be highly surprised at this point.
Yeah, no doubt. It feels like or not Stoops, Pope is on the verge of landing his first big fish. I know he technically has Kentucky ties, but like that's been the fault so far. It's been essentially perfect since Pope has got here. We've been waiting on him to land that big guy. I consider Stokes a big fish. I know he's got the ties, like I said, but like he's been away long enough to where it's not
Yeah.
an in-state like type of recruit. So yeah, if it ends up happening, obviously it's gonna be massive program changing type of recruit where you just land the number one guy. And this is a dude in that class where other than Stokes, there's not been a ton that people are like surefire. We know this dude will end up being an NBA talent.
Yeah.
So having a dude that you know is going to come in and be that guy right away will be amazing. You'll get obviously going from year one to year two, there was a huge talent jump. Maybe going from year two to year three will be a huge talent jump, and it starts with maybe getting Tyron Stokes.
Yeah, I sure hope so. And yeah, you could say he's an in-state talent, but I really don't classify him as that. He's from Louisville, but he's been basically living out in California for a while. So I really would not classify Tyran Stokes as an in-state commit, in-state kid. Of course, he's from Louisville, but place in California, but it will be interesting to see what happens. Of course, if y'all haven't kept up, Tyron Stokes signed a long-term deal with Nike today on Friday, October 3rd, and basically whenever that happened, everybody's like, Kansas is out of the picture. It's going to basically come down to Kentucky and Oregon, and basically from what everybody has been saying, what Joe Tipton of Rivals said earlier, saying multiple people have told me today that they would be shocked if Kentucky doesn't land Stokes, and that is so exciting. It's like the first big fish you were saying, and of course, you could say Mark Pope has gotten a big fish through the transfer portal with Jaden Quaintance, but it's finally time for him to get that first big recruit in high school, and I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to see what Pope can do with Stokes.
Yeah, no doubt. Pope could do a crazy amount of things with him. But yeah, like you said, it feels like a lot of people have been putting out the Kentucky thing, but yeah, it's just like a three-team race at this point. Like you said, Kansas is out, the hometown team is out, Louisville's gone. Like it's like Kentucky, Oregon, and then USC kind of at a distance. But like, yeah, we're right here on the verge. Just gotta it's rounding third. Gotta lock down this commit if you're Pope. And like I said, program changing type of guy where he's gonna come in and fit right away, and he's gonna be one of those guys where like we'll talk about pro day here soon when we get to that. Like he's gonna be one of those dudes that comes out on pro day, like when we had Calipari here, where it's gonna be jumping off the page type of numbers, like freak athlete, incredible basketball player, and we're right here. Like I said, we're rounding third with a chance to get him.
Yeah, and Pat Kelsey is whiffing right now. Everybody was calling Mark Pope the whiff man during the offseason, missing out on so many transfers and everything. But it feels so good to finally, turn that table around to Louisville saying, oh, yeah, you missed out on Taylor Kinney, and now you're about to miss out on Tyron Stokes. You're actually the whiff man.
Oh yeah, yeah. PK's the whiff man. He's a little guy, the little brother, and he's playing that role correct. Where Kansas put him in a locker, and then now Pope's got a chance to do the same thing as an in-state team, just getting the big win over him.
And of course, Pat Kelsey, you would always lose in a fist fight compared to Mark Pope for sure.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. I saw a clip of it was when Phil to 68 was at Louisville and they were doing like the mean tweets or whatever. And Pat Kelsey read a tweet that said like Mark Pope will always be your daddy or something. And it'd be even funnier if they land Tyron Stokes, the kid that has Louisville ties that ends up not even committing after TK already committed elsewhere too.
Yeah, like it's just crazy to think about. And if you can get Tyron Stokes, you don't really need a lot more recruits, Like, yes, it would be great to get at least two more, but you could potentially just get one more player from high school and just finish as a class with a two-man class. Of course, I would love to see three or four, and like my main two targets would be Tyran Stokes and Deron Rippey Jr., but Deron might not even come to Kentucky because of you don't know if Jaland Lowe will return uh next year after this year. And then UK also they prioritize the big man sometimes a little bit more than the point guard where the center dribbles the ball up the court and everything. So like I said, Deron Rippey, he wants to be point guard one, and he wants to be the main focal point in the offense. So potentially him coming to Kentucky would be great, but I don't think that'll happen in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely the one that I would want to like. I would love to see him at UK, but like you said, it's kind of a new era where people are still getting used to it. Where now we're in year two, but there's a lot of these year two guys under Pope that it could end up coming back. Where we've
Yeah.
gotten younger, we went after dudes in the portal that could be here for multiple years, and Jaland Lowe obviously could come back for his senior year, and that would kind of change some plans that these recruits maybe have in their mind. So, yeah, I could see him going elsewhere because of that. Like you said, he's a dude that wants to be PG1, but he's definitely going to be PG1. Like wherever he goes, like
Yeah.
he'll be the guy for sure. So yeah, Jalen Lowe could change that a little bit. But I think just from what we've heard, we've obviously not seen him play in a UK jersey yet. But what we've heard about Jalen Lowe,
Mhm.
I'm going to be excited to see him this year. And then if we can keep him from going to the league next year, having him back for another year will be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I think real quick before we talk more about Tyron Stokes and everything, I really think with Otega Owe being out from practice, I really think that has helped out Lowe being more of a leader on the team and also becoming just a better player with Owe being out due to his turf toe injury.
Yeah, no doubt. Where I think it was Goodman said that you could tell this is Lowe's team. Like
Yeah.
right when they went in, like you said, obviously Ortega was out during that when they saw that, but they're like, we get Ortega's probably the guy when he comes back, but you walked into the gym and you could just tell this is Jalen Lowe's team, and he's such a good leader and such a vocal leader as well as just leader on the court in general. So yeah, that it's gonna be fun to get Ortega back, but it's definitely like there are two teams, and you always want your point guard to be one of the leaders on the team.
Yes, and it's going to be great for sure having the backcourt of Oweh and Lowe. So we'll see what happens with that. But back to good old Tyron Stokes. And I know also Joe Tipton talked a little bit about this, but he said Phil Knight could be also a factor on why Tyron Stokes might go to Oregon instead of Kentucky. I really don't think that'll happen. I really think Nike will push all their marbles into Kentucky, knowing that, hey, Stokes is a Nike kid, and more than likely, if he goes to UK, he plays well, leaves after his freshman year to go to the NBA draft, he could easily be a top five NBA draft pick, and hopefully better than that, maybe number one.
Yeah, no doubt. The Nike connection is definitely strong, but like you said, if you if you're sending a kid, it's much more risky to send him out to Dana Altman on the West Coast
Yeah.
in a Big Ten conference where I mean they don't necessarily get the views that certain teams, especially Kentucky in the SEC, but like there's just so many bigger brands to get this dude to. So like getting him to Kentucky would just do unbelievable things for him in his career on just what it would do for his draft stock and just notoriety. Like he would be, it'd be silly to just not go to Kentucky at this point if you're choosing
Yeah.
between those two.
Yeah, because Kentucky is still like the greatest tradition of college basketball, and they will continue to be like that for sure. And another thing that Tipton also talked about is he believes that UK is currently leading for Christian Collins, and I thought that was so surprising. He obviously said that would definitely change probably if Tyran Stokes does commit to Kentucky, and I couldn't believe that. I'm like, wow, we're leading for like two top 10 players. Are you serious? Like, what's Mark Pope doing compared to, last year?
Yeah, it's definitely completely different, leading for like numerous guys, but yeah, just gotta land them now. Like, yeah, like we obviously last year you can't fault him. It was so late to everything, and he was basically recruiting kids for a few months. But this year, you're in good spot for a few of them, and just gotta lock them down now.
Yeah, and I think I have a couple more things that I want to add before we finish up the video. I think the other thing is could Stokes be the statement recruit that defines Mark Pope's early tenure at Kentucky? And I honestly do believe that. Like, of course, you got that big fish from the transfer portal with Jaden Quaintance, and hopefully he'll be back soon from his ACL injury. But you finally get that top commitment for high school basketball, and he'll, be in Lexington come next year, and he's going to be a great player wherever he goes, and hopefully it's UK, but I would not be surprised if he's like a top five draft pick come the 2027 NBA draft.
Yeah, yeah. Like we've said, like the one fault that you could put on Pope right now is just not getting the big fish, and now he's got a good opportunity to be able to land them. Like if he can get, I mean, Collins or Stokes, like either of those is going to be shutting up a good chunk of this fan base that's kind of just still on the fence about him. Um, I haven't wrote him off yet because like we obviously haven't seen it. This is the first offseason where he's had a legit shot and might be able to land him. I would love to get if we could get Stokes, man. Like you said, top five pick. He would be incredible.
Yeah, it definitely would be incredible, but I think we have to ask one last question though. If Stokes does not pick UK for some reason, ha- like what do you think? How damaging do you think that would be for Pope's recruiting credibility? Because then again, he hasn't landed that top fish.
I mean, I think it would hurt him, but I think it really depends on what the rest of the class looks like. Like if he's able to get Rippy, Holt, or Collins, like if he's able to get like a couple more guys that are up there, like I don't think it's going to be a huge problem at the end of the day. Like obviously, some people will freak out when it's
Yeah.
like the people that are always like we're big on Cal and hated when Cal left. Like that part of the fan base is going to get real loud if we were to miss on Stokes. So I don't
Mhm.
think it would be a huge deal because I think he's still in, like you said, we're leading for Christian Collins. Like there's a few other guys that we'd be able to land if
Yeah.
Stokes was to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and I'm saying we don't have to have a big class. Like get four players at max. If you only get two, so be it. Go through the transfer portal. Plus, you have a lot of players that could potentially return next year. We'll see what happens with that. And I'm just excited. Kentucky basketball is right around the corner of their season. It's pro day next week, of course, and then after that, you got Big Blue Madness, Blue White Scrimmage, and then you got the exhibition games. Like everything's coming up quickly for Kentucky basketball, and I'm pumped for the year. I can't wait to see what happens.
Oh yeah, we're right here. Like as soon as it hit October, it was like, you know what? Like basketball's back. Like you can just feel it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm super excited. Like we'll be talking a lot of basketball coming soon, and couldn't come at a better time too,
yeah,
because with how football's been going, no better time for it.
yeah. Probably about to be 2-3 after the Georgia games, but we'll see what happens with Kentucky football. But exciting times ahead for Kentucky basketball, and we can't wait to continue to give y'all more podcast episodes plus short content videos like this. But we hope you all enjoyed this for sure. Of course, these short videos are on YouTube, not on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but continue to watch our channel on YouTube and also, of course, watch our stuff on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well.
Yeah, no doubt. We appreciate the support and everything. But like you said, the short videos are fun because we're able to hop on and talk a little bit about the current state of the UK world.
Yeah, but have a great night, have a great weekend, everybody, and go Cats.
Go Cats.